in the early 70s, they arranged to turn the county into a toxic waste dump, literally. Cut off the trees, sell them, dig holes, put toxic waste in the holes, collect the money. What a salvation the toxic waste was. Appropriate that the worst county in Mississippi turned out to be the most toxic county in Mississippi, which is saying something. Been thinking about that for over 50 decades now. Doesn't really get easier to talk about. What happened there that night, that morning? It's like yesterday. Frequently pops into my head, odd moments. Like every time I hear about some black kid getting killed by a cop. I remember Charlene. Funny thing happened last year. I decided to take what maybe be my last European trip. Went to Spain, Portugal, Morocco. Spent 7 weeks there. Saw friends I hadn't seen for some time. I worked in Spain in the late 60s. Had some really cool jobs. I've been lucky. My children have been lucky. There was a saying going around SNCC at the time, back then in the 60s. You white, you all right. You black, jump back. Still true. See it every day. It's not as bad as it was in the 60s. Many more kids were getting killed then than today. Murdered. Those events like Charlene that seemingly weren't noticed get noticed now. Makes the news for a few days, sometimes a few weeks. Noises are made, attempts are made to do things. But the underlying conditions aren't changing. Well, that's not true. They do change. We don't have slavery anymore. But whites figured out how to do Jim Crow. Make up for loss of slavery. in the Civil Rights Act of 65, Voting Rights Act of 66. Took away any legal basis for discrimination. So invented mass incarceration. Does a hell of a good job keeping black folks in their place. Throw their stupid asses in jail, that'll show them. White folks still in charge. It's all good. But there's certain uneasiness now on the part of whites that I'm not quite sure how to explain, but maybe we're beginning to get the idea we're going to lose in the long run. I hope that's true. It may be true. When I was flying to Atlanta from here in Tulsa to catch a plane to Madrid, my seatmate was a young black matron, really good looking, I guess in her late 30s. Name was Keisha. I chatted her up. Asked her questions about her life, what her parents were like, how she grew up. Keisha told me that her parents were religious. They were strict in discipline, sometimes severe. And they always explained to her that she had to always be good, always to do the right thing. Because if she did wrong things, if she was disobedient, she told me this. Girl, you're going to end up like that Charlene in Mississippi. If you're not good, you're going to be dead. I was so stunned. I went just dead. I couldn't speak. Felt struck down, crushed. That story was not just my story. It was a big story, affecting a lot of people. Keisha had no way of knowing what had happened to me, but she saw that I had lost it for some reason. She didn't try to push me to talk anymore. We both stayed quiet. She got off her plane in Georgia to go to her family. I changed planes for Spain. Didn't sleep on the plane. Even though it was so empty, I had 6 seats to myself. Couldn't sleep. Charlene lives on in some of the worst kinds of ways. Still very much present for me. It was such a bad day. I hope to never have a worse day. What to do? What to do? It's still so hard. I want to see an effective community review board in place at Tulsa. But it doesn't seem any closer to happening than it was before. 3 young black men died. How many dead will it take? How many? Okay, done.